we're honoured to introduce our next keynote, truly one of the elite and exceptional leaders in Microsoft. We're very proud to welcome for the first time to ESPC, Scott Guthrie, Executive Vice President, Microsoft Cloud and AI Group. We're sure you're going to love this session.
Hi everyone. On behalf of everyone at Microsoft, I'd like to say a big thank you to all of you for attending this great event. My name is Scott Guthrie, and I'm the Executive Vice President of the Cloud and AI Group at Microsoft. And I'm looking forward to talking to you today about the Microsoft Cloud, and specifically an important new element that we're investing very heavily in, that we call the Power Platform, and which can add tremendous value both to SharePoint and Office 365 customers, as well as those using Dynamics 365 and Azure. And collectively, hopefully help you transform your businesses and really reinvent the way that you do work going forward. These are obviously very unusual times that we're living in with COVID-19, and I think every organization is looking for the tools and the technology that's going to enable them to reinvent how they do work in a very changed world. And our goal with the Microsoft Cloud is really to provide a complete cloud solution that you can leverage, that gives you the tools necessary for you to be able to transform how your organization works, to make it even more efficient, to enable you to connect with customers better, and ultimately make you more successful, both as an organization, but also you in particular as IT professionals and as developers. The Microsoft Cloud is unique in the sense that in terms of the breadth of what it delivers. With Azure, we have a cloud computing platform that you can use to run virtual machines, data analytic workloads, new applications, IoT systems, AI algorithms, and much more. But what makes the Microsoft Cloud even more unique is the fact that we have, with Office 365, a set of SaaS applications that you can leverage to reinvent how your information workers collaborate and communicate with each other. We have, with Dynamics 365, custom business applications that we also deliver in a SaaS-based cloud-hosted way that enable you to optimize and reinvent how business processes work. With the Power Platform, which I'll talk a lot more about later in this talk, we have the key tools necessary to integrate the work that you do for end users and the work you do for business processes with that underlying cloud platform, and enable you to build custom adaptations that tailor and suit this overall cloud platform to your unique business needs. We surround all of that with a security architecture that enables you to build solutions that are incredibly secure, that are compliant, and that can work with any user on any device anywhere in the world. And then with our Visual Studio and GitHub tools, we now have the world's leading development tools that you can use to build custom applications and custom extensions that integrate securely with all of this. No other cloud provides the same breadth and depth of capabilities that the Microsoft Cloud delivers. And while you don't need to use all of these different pieces on the slide, the fact that they've all been built so that they work well together, we think ultimately makes you more successful and allows you to deliver solutions faster to your organizations. Our cloud now runs all over the world. In fact, we have more than 63 what we call Azure regions that are now deployed or announced in pretty much every continent of the world today. That's more regions than any other cloud provider, in fact, closer than the next two cloud providers combined. This gives you the flexibility as you're building your solutions to make sure that you can reach any market in the world, you can meet any compliance need, and you can deliver solutions faster to your customers and employees than ever before. Trust and security is a core element of our cloud. And we spend a lot of time making sure that our cloud is not only secure, but that it also meets all of the different certification requirements that you might have for different international, national, or global markets. And these are just a small sampling of some of the compliance certifications that we have. And in fact, today we have more compliance certifications than any other cloud vendor. And on top of this, we now have more than 95% of the largest 500 companies in the world now deploying and running their workloads on top of this cloud. And these are, in fact, just some of the logos that are built and running their businesses on Azure today. And there's pretty much almost no organization on the planet that's not using some part of the Microsoft Cloud to run their business. Now, this comprehensiveness gives you a lot of flexibility, and obviously everyone here is probably already taking advantage of SharePoint and Office 365 as part of your day-to-day job. What I thought I'd do is spend today's talk going a little bit deeper into something we call the Power Platform, which is one of our newer members of the overall Microsoft Cloud family and works incredibly well with SharePoint, as well as with Dynamics and Azure. And gives you kind of a unique set of tools that you can leverage to do even more and deliver even more value as part of your day-to-day jobs. Now, the Power Platform gives you a no-code, low-code way to deliver value in a fast way to end users. And as part of the Power Platform family, we have Power BI, which is our self-service business analytics and business intelligence offering. Power Apps, which you can use to build web and mobile-based applications. Power Automate, that allows you to create automated workflows that can stitch together business processes. And Power Virtual Agents, which enable you to build bots as well as intelligent virtual agents that you can surface either to customers or you can surface to employees within your organization. And you can use any one of these components independently, but the beauty is also you can use them together to deliver some really unique end-to-end value solutions. And they connect very well both to SharePoint, to Office 365, to Azure, to Dynamics 365, and as well as hundreds of other SaaS and enterprise applications that you have deployed inside your organizations. And what's exciting about this, I think, is that these tools are designed to really enable anyone, every developer, to get value. Whether you're a citizen developer, whether you're a professional developer, or you're an IT professional that's never written code before in your life, but have a specific problem that you want to have solved. And with these tools, you can now dive in and you can go ahead and solve it, not just for yourself, but for tens of thousands of other employees inside your organization. And what's great about this is I think it enables everyone to be able to add even more value to the company that you work for, which ultimately makes you more valuable to the company. But it also enables the organization to also, and you to also start to automate and to solve more and more use cases that maybe are either done manually today or are done with less effective business processes. For example, spreadsheets and email, they're just being sent around in an unstructured way. You can very easily now automate using the Power Platform and do much faster and more reliably and integrate inside your organization. And this ability to achieve more means that you can really now start to address thousands of more scenarios than were possible today and really deliver a tremendous amount of value and impact to your businesses. So let's go a little bit deeper into each one of these applications, and I'll talk about, and we'll show some cool demos, as well as talk about how some customers in particular are now deploying these and seeing the value from them. Let's start with probably the part of the family that's the most well known today, which is Power BI. Power BI is our self-service business intelligence and data analytics offering. It enables a way for an organization to kind of look and work with data regardless of where it is, whether it's in the SQL or an Oracle database or an SAP system, or a SaaS-based solution like Dynamics 365 or Salesforce or Workday or any other type of SaaS-based application. The great thing is Power BI works with all of them. And it enables you to bring in data and make it available inside your organization so that you can make smarter and better decisions really at any scale. And it's designed so that it works great for both for data engineers as well as business analysts. But it also now infuses AI as well, both AI algorithms that you can use out of the box without having to be a data scientist, but it also now has capabilities so that you can work well with data scientists that are inside your organization as well. And what's great is it can be seen by anyone with a browser on any device, and also now has built-in Windows, iOS, as well as Android applications that you can use broadly on top of any computer. And it can scale to literally having hundreds of thousands of people be able to look at these insights in a secure, compliant way. Power Apps is another member of the Power Platform family, and one that's growing incredibly quickly. And it enables you to build low-code, no-code applications that can work across iOS, Android, Windows apps, as well as on any browser, and very easily automate repetitive tasks. It doesn't require you to write any code. And we'll see some great demos a little bit later on in terms of enabling a very declarative and metadata-driven way that you can build functional, good-looking apps, again, that you can deploy to your end users inside your organization to enable real business value. It has built-in connectors out of the box and can connect to more than 350 different data sources around the world, as well as, again, tons of custom SaaS applications, as well as access all of the data that you're storing inside SharePoint today. Power Automate is another key part of the family and enables workflow automation. And what's great about Power Automate is that you can now model your business processes and automate them. So that, for example, when a document is uploaded inside SharePoint, you can kick off a task to do something with it, or kick off an approval process with email or SMS and automate and stitch all of that together. Like Power Apps and Power BI, it also has hundreds of pre-built connectors so that you can integrate with other data sources, not just SharePoint, but again, SQL and Oracle and SAP and Adobe and other environments as well. And these workflows can happen instantaneously, or can sometimes even take days to run if you want to have, say, an approval process that hits multiple departments. And you can manage all this and build it, again, in a no-code kind of way, with strong enterprise governance and security all built in. We've also then more recently extended Power Automate to also include RPA functionality. If you haven't heard of RPA, it stands for Robotic Process Automation. And it provides a way that you can even stitch together UI elements into your workflows. So for example, we have organizations that are now running Outlook inside a virtual machine inside Azure. And so in response to, say, a document being uploaded in SharePoint, a workflow could kick off. And if there's a task that requires UI automation with our RPA functionality in Power Automate, you can actually automate the UI actions across, say, Outlook or a custom Win32 application as part of that workflow, and again, do it all automatically without having to write any code at all. And then our newest member of the family is what we call Power Virtual Agents. And this provides a way that you can go ahead and create bots as well, what we call virtual agents that can help someone solve a problem in a chat-based way as opposed to necessarily traditional forms or UI gesture. And what's great about Power Virtual Agents is you can build these bots and embed them both within websites, but you can also now run them also inside Microsoft Teams. And so it's a great way you can also expose them into your organization and provide a way you can develop guided tasks that don't require a graphical user interface to guide someone on a particular business process or task that they're trying to accomplish. And again, all in a no-code kind of way that enables you to very easily build incredibly powerful automated virtual agents. Now, what's cool about all these capabilities is you can use them separately. So you can just use one of those individual components. You don't need to buy anything else from Microsoft in order to leverage them. You can also use them together, obviously, to build solutions. And we're also now including a lot of that capability directly as part of every Office 365 subscription. We've recently announced, for example, with our Power Apps as well as Power Automate services, that we actually have an addition of them that come now bundled inside of Microsoft Teams that you can use at no extra charge. It has a core set of the connectors to connect to your Office data, including SharePoint. Again, you can run these inside Teams without having to buy anything. As long as you have Teams, you can actually develop and build these applications and expose them to all of their users, all of your users. And so it's an even better way that you can start to deliver value with no obligation, with no cost, and really start to build some amazing things with it. Let's look at a quick video that talks a little bit about this and some of what is possible as a result.
More than ever, businesses are looking for ways to be agile and save time and money. Microsoft Teams is a rich platform for work, offering so much more than just chat, meetings, and calling. With Power Platform in Teams, it's also a place where anyone can develop simple yet powerful low-code solutions that simplify work right within Teams. Power Apps is a low-code app-building platform that lets you easily create, edit, and publish apps directly to Teams, allowing you to simplify work across any device. Now, anyone can benefit from AI-powered, natural language-capable bots made right in Teams. Power Virtual Agents makes chatbots easy to create and scale across your organization. You can automate processes like approvals, reminders, and even robust enterprise-grade workflows using the Power Automate app. And turn your insights into action with a new Power BI app that lets you quickly find, share, and create data visualizations right within Teams. With Teams and Microsoft Power Platform, your opportunities to simplify work are endless, making it easier than ever to bring people together and achieve more.
So you saw in that video some of the possibilities of what you can do with Power Apps embedded and the rest of the Microsoft Power Platform embedded inside of Teams. What I do now is, now that you've seen kind of the high level of what the end user experience maybe looks like, is actually dive into a specific customer example and actually show you how we can actually build this app from scratch and do that development itself using both Power Apps as well as extending it with things like Azure as well as Visual Studio and .NET to be able to go even further and use not just the built-in connectors that Power Apps has, but also integrate with custom business processes and custom business applications that are built as APIs inside the Azure cloud. And so what I'd like to do is pass it over to Charles Lamanna, who runs the Power Platform team, to give you a tour of using Power Apps and how they're one of our big customers, which is T-Mobile, is taking advantage of it.
Thank you, Scott. T-Mobile is the second largest wireless provider in the United States, supporting almost 100 million customers and covering 98% of the continental United States with wireless coverage. And today for the demo, we're going to look at how they were able to use the Microsoft Power Platform, Microsoft Teams, and Azure together to go improve and drive efficiency in their business processes, and to even go be agile and respond to a bunch of different changing requirements in response to the COVID crisis. So to get started, let's take a look at my phone.
So I'm inside of Microsoft Teams right now. If you actually see right here, I'm inside a Teams channel. That's my account. If I go over to more and say launch this area inspection app, this is a Power App running completely inside the mobile Teams client. See how fast it is, how natively and naturally integrated it's inside of that Teams client. And if I say go click through inside of the application, in this case, what it's being used for with T-Mobile is to do inspections of the retail locations to make sure they're stocked and cleaned. So I can do something like, say, inspect an area. I can see all the different types of areas inside of the store. I have nice little pills to do great little filtering. Maybe I'll choose back tables, do a store opening walk, which is just something you do as part of getting ready for the store. You can see I have a nice little picture. I can go through the inspection list, and it's a highly visual, highly native experience, which just works great for all of our customers who spend so much time inside of Teams for collaboration. The retail location, they now can have such a rich, themed, branded application where all of that data is actually being stored back inside Common Data Service with Project Oakdale. And you can see I'm right inside of Microsoft Teams right now. And this is the new Power Apps app, which you can just use natively. You can see how it has a nice little landing page. It shows me all of my recent applications. I also have the ability to go look at other templates that have been built by Microsoft to get started, as well as great learning content, a really rich experience. And in fact, for T-Mobile, that application I was just showing, I'll go deeper in a second, that's something that started as one of those templates. There's the area inspection template, which is something that we, Microsoft, ship and deliver free of charge to all Power Apps customers. And there's an area inspection basically app as part of that solution. And that's the app that was installed and customized and tailored just that I was showing on my phone. And if I say switch over to the Power Apps Studio here, this is what's really exciting is you actually have the entire Power Apps Studio right inside of Microsoft Teams. So if I say zoom up here, you can see I'm in the browser, but I'm actually using the entire Power Apps Canvas Studio to build my application, to integrate with Project Oakdale and the Common Data Service all easily and all natively, just the way that T-Mobile would like to do it. And the fact that you can do this, I can even do, say, a preview. And I actually am now running the same app that I was just showing on my phone. I'm able to go run right inside of the authoring environment inside of the browser. And say if I click through these screens, you can see how there's all the same information that I was just showing. That's the standard Power Apps, what you see is what you get editor. No compile, no build, no publish, just all available to you natively inside of the Teams client. And what's great is inside of Power Apps, like one of the things that we've been talking about a lot is something called components. And what components allow you to do is they allow you to build a building block, which you can reuse across all of your applications. And in the case of T-Mobile, they have this header, which I'm going to bring to the front right here, which is just says T-Mobile on it, nice and branded. And that's something which has a back to home button, the T-Mobile logo, the appropriate size, which is standardized across the company. You can easily reuse and recompose entirely inside this experience. And although you're using Power Apps inside of Teams, you still got all of that great power and capabilities. But as always, one of the best things about any Power Apps demo is its data sources. If you look on the left-hand side of the screen here where I'm scrolling, you can see dozens and dozens of different data sources are being used to build this rich application experience. That's the 350 plus data connectors that I was talking about earlier, all available to you natively and naturally inside of Power Apps. And that's something that's been around for a while, but the brand new thing, which is super exciting, is the Common Data Service or Project Oakdale authoring experience inside of Teams. So if I say click edit here, I'm actually editing this table inside of Oakdale. And look at this brand new, beautiful user interface I get, which just shows me a simple table of all the data inside the Common Data Service. And if you look at these columns that are defined up here, I have advanced types like text fields, or I can have something like a checklist, which is a relationship to another table inside of the Common Data Service. I have date times, I have selection options for enums. And if I want to add a new column, I can do that just with a single click. All natively integrated, all real time. And the same idea we've always had for Power Apps UI design, we finally brought to data design. What you see is what you get. No build, no compile, no publish. The data is all at your fingertips. And even inside this table, if I want, you can go change the drop down right here natively. And you can see that's coming from a different table, which is a lookup. So this is just a really rich enabled scenario for our customers, which allows you to go bring together that low code data platform with the Common Data Service, which everybody really depends on for such mission critical applications, but bring it right inside with a native intuitive experience inside of Microsoft Teams. And the best part, which I'm sure a lot of people will be excited about, is with Project Oakdale, you can get access to this tabular experience inside of Microsoft Teams without any additional licenses. The Microsoft Teams license includes it entirely inside of its use rights. And I don't want just to imply that you can only use Microsoft Teams with Power Apps, but you can also build much more advanced applications. So another thing that T-Mobile has built is a web-based application called Orbit. And Orbit is responsible for managing the approval of processes like marketing campaigns or discount programs. And this is something also built on Power Apps and built on Common Data Service, but runs inside the browser. And if I say just launch this to play it from the Power Apps Studio, I can say go to the list view, which will show me all the programs that are underway. And yeah, as it loads, you can see how there's even this great little experience from T-Mobile where it's T-Mobile branded entirely end to end. And say if I click through here for device promotion on September 24th, which is one of those campaigns in the works, you can see it pulls up all the data from a bunch of different systems. It talks about the rollout program for particular devices. I can go click through into details about the program for this device promotion. And all of this is coming from a bunch of different systems, as well as the Common Data Service, all entirely inside of my browser, replacing tons of manual processes that was very error-prone in the past. You could even go through, get approvals from particular people, pull in a team, and attach files. So really rich, deep business application experience, which our customers so frequently want to create with Power Apps, built on the same Common Data Service that I was just showing inside of Teams. And if I say, go through some of these screens, one maybe I may show is, say, the approval screen. Because what's special about this is not only is this pulling data from the Common Data Service, but it's also pulling data from a system hosted inside of Azure. And to do that, that's done by using something called a custom connector. We can see it right here, the CDS GTM entries, record. This is a custom connector published and composed from Azure. I can get access to it right inside of Power Apps. And if I want to go call it, you can do it just very easily using the Power Apps expression language. So if I zoom in right here, whenever this page loads, you can see I'm actually invoking this custom connector using the Power Apps expression language that's hosted inside of Azure. And that's something you could do for a while, but it's never been as easy as it is now with our brand new announcements around Azure API Management integration. So to get access to this custom connector from inside of Power Apps, what T-Mobile had done is they had actually authored it inside of Visual Studio, because where else are you going to write your APIs? So you can see here I have a GTM entries route defined inside of my .NET controller. This is not the best .NET code. You wouldn't be very proud of it, but it works for the purposes of the demo. And what I can now do is right from inside of Visual Studio, when you build these APIs, there's a native publishing experience which allows you to walk through end to end to go from your .NET code to Azure API Management. So you see right here, I have a T-Mobile web deploy, and just by clicking publish, it's going to move my .NET APIs and the definitions of those APIs into Azure API Management. And I did that beforehand, just to save us a little time for the demo. And so I go to the Azure portal, open up this T-Mobile APIM instance, and the T-Mobile APIM instance just gives me a great overview of all those APIs that are used inside of my Power App or elsewhere. And if I click on, say, the APIs here, we can see I have this T-Mobile instance. And right here, I have that same GTM entry. So these are the same APIs that you saw in .NET, in Visual Studio, and the same APIs you could see inside of Power Apps. They're all wired up naturally and natively right here. And if I want to, there's just a simple UI, click Export on this API, where I can move that custom connector I wrote in Visual Studio directly into my Power App environment. And that end-to-end flow is something that we're increasingly seeing from our customers, because developers want to work together with business users inside of Power Apps in something called a Fusion team to really transform how you deliver experiences to your customers and your employees.
And just to do a quick recap of what we just saw, T-Mobile was able to use the Power Platform, Microsoft Teams, and Azure to go from low code to code first without any cliffs, to completely transform a bunch of different business processes at their company, to be agile and respond to COVID, and to overall make a big impact on their customers' experience. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Scott.
Thanks, Charles. So as you saw, as he was building that application, some of the, just both the tooling and the end-to-end experience that we're trying to enable, and then also for T-Mobile, which is one of the largest telecommunications providers in the world, how they're leveraging it to solve, a real business problem. And as you saw in that demo, the combination of Teams with Power Apps is incredibly powerful. The ability to store data with the Common Data Service and really work with data across multiple environments. As well as the ability to build custom APIs, if you choose to, with things like Azure and our Azure API Management in Visual Studio, which gives you this no-cliffs extensibility, so that in addition to the out-of-the-box functionality that the Power Platform provides, you can always go deeper and do any custom thing you need to be able to integrate with any existing system or run any custom logic that you want as part of your solutions. And hopefully it gives you kind of a sense of the power, no pun intended, of what the Power Platform delivers. And what's different now about this kind of type of low-code app dev model is this ability to, as Charles demonstrated, really leverage the cloud and existing APIs to connect applications and to connect workflows without having to write any code. The ability to use capabilities like AI as well as mobile and things like chatbots to enable new experiences. And provide a way that you can actually build an app for pretty much any scenario that your business or enterprise needs. And then the ability for you to leverage data more and to be able to take business processes that sometimes today happen on paper or happen over email or happen with spreadsheets that are passed around within a team, to really automate those and take those business processes to the next level. And as you leverage all of these, they really give you a way that you can add so much more value to your organization and enable your organization to really advance its business and be even more successful in the mission that you have. And again, you can do all of this not just with these tools that make you productive, but do it so that when you deliver a solution, it also has central governance as well as security built in so that you can actually run it compliantly for any environment. Let's talk about a couple of great customers that are leveraging this Power Platform today as part of their Microsoft Cloud solution. GSK is a global healthcare company. It's one of the largest companies in the world. And they started off, there's 8 people inside GSK that went to a talk like this and said, hey, let me actually build some things. Let me try this out, and started using it to automate a simple business process inside GSK. Fast forward only about a year later, and there's now more than 2,000 developers inside GSK that are building solutions. And they're not developers in the traditional sense, they're Power Apps developers. So they don't necessarily have a computer science background or a programming background. In many cases, they've never written code before in their life, but they're able to use these tools now to build applications and again, put them in the hands of employees inside GSK to automate tremendous business value. And again, do it end to end so that they're not just building the apps, but they're building the workflows, they're building the Power BI dashboards against it, they're integrating with SharePoint, they're integrating with all of the data that are stored inside Office 365. And it's really just enabling a whole new generation of solutions and business processes to be built and improved within the broader organization. Toyota is another great example of a customer going through a similar journey. They're obviously one of the largest automotive manufacturers in the world. And they have a tremendous amount of things they need to keep track of as they manufacture, ship, deliver, service, maintain, and sell these very complex and very rich machines. And for a lot of these processes, they used systems that were built by professional developers that cost a lot of money to keep track of these components. But there's a lot of processes that either were too custom or were not, didn't justify hiring hundreds of developers to build. And instead they were keeping track over email and with spreadsheets. And similar to the GSK example, a couple of their IT professionals went to a talk like this and said, I bet there's a better way to do this. And they used Power Apps, they used Power Automate, and they used, again, Power BI. And they took those processes that were done with Excel, that they were done with email, and they built a simple app to track it. And it started off as a simple issue tracking application. And it's now expanded to be a set of applications they use across the organization. And they're now taking the same approach and automating more and more workflows and more business processes in ways that they were never able to before, and seeing tremendous savings and tremendous business results from it. SNCF is France's national state-owned railway company. And similar to the other examples I just mentioned with GSK and Toyota, it started with one person inside the organization who said, hey, I bet there's a way that I could automate an existing process that we do on paper and make it better. And it started off with a simple app that actually was around improving delivery time, reducing error rates, and streamlining some operations. And it is now expanded to be something that SNCF is using everywhere across the organization. In fact, SNCF has actually created what they call the Power School, which is in fact a sort of center of excellence within the organization, where they're now training hundreds of people on how to use the Power Platform, and then systematically going after lots of different business processes that they can now optimize and significantly improve. And I think it's a great example of, literally the power of what this platform provides. And for an awful lot of their business processes, they're using that data. They're storing that data in SharePoint. And so for them in particular, the integration between the Power Platform and SharePoint was one of the biggest reasons why they went down this path, and has helped ensure that they're able to leverage all of the SharePoint investments they've had. And they're transforming in many ways, again, these business processes that used to be very manual to be apps on top of SharePoint that, again, they can scale across the organization in tremendous ways. Sterling Bank is a great financial institution in Nigeria. And a woman at the bank whose name is Foyin Alaji Bello had the idea of, I bet we could use the Power Platform to transform this bank even further. And she also started investigating the Power Platform and built a first app. Beyond just building an app, she then got very interested in RPA and those robotic process automation scenarios, and looked at ways that she could leverage that to, again, automate business processes that today required someone to click on an application on a Windows desktop. And she's been able to build a bunch of these great solutions and, again, automate the experience within the bank. And what I'd like to do is play a great video talking about this experience and what Sterling's been able to do from it.
My name is Foyin Olajide Bello. I work with Sterling Bank PLC here in Nigeria. The first app I built came about from the request of a business user saying, we would like to put this Excel sheet on OneDrive. And I said, what we need to do is we need to build an app for this. And I built my first app using Power Apps. After that, people got to hear about the app and how quickly it was done. I'm like, oh, Foyin, I would like to build an app. So I thought to myself, why should I upskill myself alone, and why should every other person not know how to do this themselves? So I thought about the idea of Citizen Developer Academy. So the user group, we started with 2, and we started to grow in that way, and we're currently 1,200. And when they learn, they get so inspired, and they go back to their communities, they go back to their schools to start up local user groups there. So we'll have events, and most of the speakers will be male. That was what started out Techstylers. We're currently over 300 women, all passionate about helping and supporting each other, using our knowledge in the Power Platform. For me, the Power Platform is not just another tool. It's actually a transformational agent. And I believe strongly that if we all get into this revolution, we'll get to a point where our whole country, Nigeria, will be totally transformed.
So, as we talked about here today, the Power Platform really delivers a lot of value. It's designed to enable a low-code, no-code solution that can work, can be used by anyone inside an organization. And as you saw in Charles's demo, the beauty about this is you can use the Power Platform as is, again, without having to write code, to automate and improve tons and tons of functionality. But also it's designed specifically so that developers can also then go even further and add extensions and integrate it in unique ways, whether those developers are SharePoint developers, whether they're .NET developers or Java developers, or developers using other platforms that want to integrate. And across the Microsoft Cloud, both with our core Azure platform, the Power Platform, Office 365, Dynamics 365, Visual Studio, and GitHub, and all of the security and compliance tools that come with it all, we've got now really a tremendous cloud capability that you can leverage to build, again, these next generation solutions that can deliver tremendous business value to your organizations. And I'm incredibly excited to see what you build with all of these tools and solutions. And all of us at Microsoft are really looking forward to hearing about, hopefully, your success as you do so, and are very committed to continue to deliver great capabilities across this family that's going to enable you to be even more successful and to help your organizations power through over the next couple years and transform how they connect with their customers, run their operations, and ultimately deliver value. So thank you so much for coming to the conference this week. Thank you for everything you're doing today as part of your organizations through this interesting times that we're all living in. And thank you so much for your investment in the Microsoft Cloud. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.